here we are in our castle to talk about things. All of our castle. So, I'm sure you guys saw, the Christmas message that, IS, or at least holiday message, or any acknowledgement of any holiday that, IS left on the message board, guys, right? You saw that? I'm just pointing this out. It's right there. Here, look. There you go. Look. You can get Fjorm. Did you guys know that? Technically, it lists the 8th, but they've been bumping this up like every week, just to constantly remind you guys that I don't know if you knew this, but Fjorm's, Fjorm, you can get her for free if you do Book 2 story mode. That was Merry Christmas one and all, but no. I've seen people legitimately miffed about this, and like miffed about a few things, like every other mobile game is doing a event or something like that. Not only a Christmas banner, but also things like, oh hey, you can earn more of these things, or work towards upgrading something, etc., etc., etc. I've been seeing it a lot. And you know what? Out of curiosity, I went and looked. Right now, before we get into what I looked at, we do have technically a Christmas event coming in, I guess, the Tempest Trials. People were expecting maybe that on the 25th or something, IS would maybe be like, oh, happy holidays, guys, here's a few spending orbs, things like that, for fun, because, well, it's a holiday, usually, it doesn't hurt to do that, maybe, right? And I've looked over a lot of the other gacha games, they've done some things that are similar to this. And, well, wouldn't you know, we didn't get anything, and we do have an event coming up. That is Tempest Trials, of course. And that means, of course, new seals, maybe, but the one thing that I've noticed, of course, is that, much like all the other ones, the 40% tile range seems to be a little bit skewed right now. Huh. Yeah, 40% for the units that only came from the banner that are seasonal units. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun one. Yeah, that's I'm sure some of you are just, tickled pink about that one. But outside of that, we haven't really had an event that's based around the season. Sure, I think the only thing I can think of that was themed was the voting gauntlet that was turned on its head just because, hey, look, it's summer, it's a summer banner. 2 summer banners, let's pit them together and see what happens. And that was basically what happened. That was it. It was voting gauntlet with a summer theme. Granted, a lot of the other mobile games out there, they do events that are relatively similar to what they usually do in some cases, but they added a new coding and things like that. But to give you an idea, I went through a lot of other mobile games, and I'm not even talking about that Heroes Mobile, which, by the way, do not install that. That game kept popping up and telling me, we have a free gift for you, so I just didn't want to know what the free gift was and closed it. But out of the games I went to, just to give you an idea, I went to Grand Blue, Brave Exvius, Record Keeper, Fate Go, Yokai Watch, Wibble Wobble, all of these games, all of them, at least, or I should say most of them from what I can recall, which was just a few hours ago, which I should really recall almost all of them, they had a Christmas event going on, or something related to the holidays events that are going on. And, people seemed relatively miffed about this, and, kind of, like, oh, where's our Christmas, most jokingly, I'm sure. But the one thing you need to remember, of course, is that, yes, technically, you do have at least daily orb maps to do. That's at least something, I guess. And then, of course, we did have, the lovely reward that we got on Christmas Day. That was, what was it? Oh, yes, 100 feathers and 1 orb. I'm sure you guys were awfully excited for that one. Meanwhile, other gacha games are giving out free summoning tickets and all this other nonsense. And, I don't know how to feel about that. I'm not really so certain if it's something that can really be applied to Heroes and how it works with its summoning, because of how, odd and more, I wouldn't say more forthcoming, but, more advantageous our summoning rates have, because, a lot of our times, a lot of the things that come from it, they're usually, you can get it up beyond, 4% pretty reliably, and, most of the other banners that are in other games are usually 1%, no matter what. And at least Heroes does this a little bit nicer when it comes down to it. But then again, I don't know what people were expecting. Um, I guess people, I think it's just the real thing here to take away from this is that it's all about competition. And the thing is, Heroes is competing with some really big mobile games. Fate Grand Order has really been a game that's blown up a lot recently, not only in Japan but also in the U.S., Europe, and things like that since it recently came out. And well, they kind of have to compete a bit more. And when certain things like Fate Grand Order do events like that make things much more accessible and easier to do, people will probably want to gravitate more towards that. And that's the simple fact there. So I'm honestly kind of astonished when it comes to some things that IS does. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm not really going to say anything about these. And if you really want to say anything to them, there's always the customer support and then feedback tab where you can leave your feedback. And, give ideas, say things, be constructive. And, well, it makes me wonder at times. People like to complain on Reddit and on Discord and things like that, but they seem to forget that there is a feedback forum. But IS needs to at least, consider maybe just making things a little bit easier. It doesn't hurt to do some more events like Tempest Trials, and, maybe, just maybe grease the wheels a bit. Don't throw all of the units that are from the newest banner as the 40%. Just saying. A little bit of a rant going on here, but maybe I'm just being a bit, weird. But I guess, it's all about awakening and Christmas and fun times, hooray. But that's just my thoughts on this. I've been seeing people make a lot of memes out of it. That's what really matters here, is make memes, enjoy your positivity, have some positive vibes going. Don't get bogged down in the bad emotions that come from certain things. Make a joke out of it, and then maybe send that feedback that you've been wanting to send. That way, they'll know. And that's just what I'm trying to give you as a takeaway here, is send your feedback. Don't let, the bad times get you down. I know that some people are actually very miffed about the Daily Orb, or at least know nothing, about the holidays, no event, no anything, outside of a banner that had some really power creep ass characters. Jesus Christ. Man. Anyways, that's my takeaway from it, guys. I will say that the one biggest joke that can be said right now is that, did you know that Fjorm can be gotten if you beat Book 2? Oh my god.